We don't do intros on this channel. Hello y'all, my name is Sierra Too Fit. I've lost 130 pounds, 50 of which was naturally, and the rest was lost through weightlifting, calorie deficit, and with the help of VSG as well. Today I want to talk about 10 reasons why you might be plateauing in your weight loss journey, but first, before we do that, I want to let you guys know I am not a CPT, certified personal trainer, or a nutritionist, or a nutrition coach. I am not certified, nor do I have a degree or any sort of education regarding this topic under my belt. I can only speak from personal experience, which is usually what I get the most questions about. Regardless of if I am certified or not, I always get questions. So with that being said, everything that I'm about to say, please do take with a grain of salt, and if you are interested in learning more about it, please do your own research on it. Make sure it is from a verified, reliable, and accurate source. Just a full heads up disclaimer. Okay, so let's get into it without further ado. The number one reason why people usually hit weight loss plateaus is because they might not be tracking nearly as accurate as they were in the beginning, or at all, period. Sometimes we can get away with not tracking accurately in the beginning of our weight loss journeys because in the beginning, it's super easy to lose weight. Our bodies are just ready to go. For example, if your calorie deficit is 1,800 calories, but you're not accurately tracking and therefore you might be eating 1,900 calories a day, you might still actually be starting to lose weight just because you're still in a deficit compared to maybe when you were eating 2,500 calories a day. It's still a deficit and you still will probably lose weight, but once you start losing weight and you're continuously losing weight, once you hit that mark where you stop losing weight, it's time to start tracking again. And I highly recommend tracking by the gram. For example, we'll use peanut butter. 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is supposed to be 16 grams, but depending on the scoop that you get, you might have peanut butter on the bottom of the tablespoon. You might have peanut butter, coming over the side. You might not have enough peanut butter. A lot of the times when I measure out 1 tablespoon, it can come from anywhere to 16 to 20 grams, which is a total difference in calories. I'll put them up on the screen. I learned along the way, it's actually most accurate to measure by weight, not by cups and measuring cups and stuff like that. I highly recommend getting a food scale. The one that I got is under $10 from Amazon. I'll also link that in the description below if you're interested in grabbing one. Reason number 2 that you might be plateauing is from eating too much of one food group. So a lot of us, we track our calories, we get our calorie deficit, if it's 1,900, 1,800 or whatever. Sometimes people eat more carbs than they do protein, or they might eat more fats than they do carbs, or more fats than protein. So it's really important that you get your macros and your calories. You can go to tdeecalculator.net to find your maintenance calories, your cutting calories, your bulking calories, and even your macros. I will go ahead and show an example on the screen, like I said. Not to mention, you can also overeat healthy foods. If you have a whole handful of almonds, you can easily overeat in fats that day, or even calories, period. Protein bars, avocados, these can also be really high in calories and really high in one thing or one macro or food group that you don't need more of currently. So the goal is to balance your macros from proteins to carbs to fats. And you can even aim for 25 grams of fiber per day if you want to stay full and satiated. Reason number 3, metabolic adaptation, aka your body burns less calories over time as you continue to lose weight. When you lose weight, your resting metabolic rate decreases by 3 to 5% per 10 pounds. Therefore, your body becomes more efficient and just burns fewer calories for the activities that you're constantly doing. One thing you can do to fix this is strength train, so build muscle, because the more muscle you build, the more calories you burn, especially when resting. You can also recalculate your calories and macros every few weeks, especially if you're losing pounds. So if you are losing body fat, if you're losing weight, go back into the tdecalculator.net and make sure that you're inputting your new metrics, your new statistics, so that you can find your cutting macros and your cutting calories, and therefore stay most accurate on how you're going to continue losing weight in a plateau. Another thing that you can do is take a rest period. So 1 to 2 weeks of you intuitively eating, not binging or going out and eating a bunch of junk food, but kind of giving your calorie deficit a break. This will kind of help you reset your metabolism. I personally did this probably 2 or 3 times before my plateau absolutely just leveled out. But you absolutely can do this a few times throughout your weight loss journey, especially as you are continuously losing weight, and your body loves when you reset. You feel stronger, you go to the gym with more energy, you wake up feeling more satisfied. It is awesome. Reason number 4, you might not be getting enough protein. Like I mentioned earlier, protein increases your metabolism. It also reduces cravings and preserves muscle during weight loss. And if you're aiming for fat loss, you should probably get around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Or if you don't want to do 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, you can do things like aiming towards 30 grams of protein per meal. Number 5, water retention and bloating. Sometimes your body weight can fluctuate around 5 pounds per day depending on your water retention and bloating. High sodium, stress, and even hormonal imbalances can affect this. Make sure you're drinking at least 60 to 100 ounces of water per day so that you can flush out excess sodium. Highly recommend reducing processed foods that are high in sodium, and get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night to reduce cortisol levels. These are only a few things that you can do to reduce sodium, manage your cortisol levels. Hormonal imbalances are going to be a whole other thing, but these are reasons that could be causing water retention and or bloating. Number 6, you might be doing the same workouts for too long. I did the exact same weightlifting program for almost 2 years straight before finally switching up into calisthenics, doing things like Pilates and HIIT, more cardio, things like that. What you can do to spice things up and try to break your plateau is maybe lift heavier, lift slower, lift a little bit faster, basically just changing up things just a little bit so that your body gets kicked back into calorie burning mode. If you've been doing a lot of steady state cardio, aka walking on the treadmill for 30 minutes, try kicking it up. Maybe jog for 2 minutes and then walk for 2 minutes, jog for 2 minutes and walk for 2 minutes, or incorporate things like HIIT. Maybe do some jumping jacks, then get on the treadmill. You know what I mean? Just shake things up a little bit. Kick up that intensity, slow down your intensity, just do something a little bit different that's going to challenge you more than what you've already been doing for months on end. Another thing that you can do to try to prevent this specifically is try to get at least 10,000 steps in per day. If you're not getting at least 10,000 right now, just try to get that in there and see if it'll help break your plateau. Number 7, overestimating calories burned. Our watches, our fitness trackers, the fitness apps that we keep on our body when we're doing steps, when we're doing workouts, that are tracking our steps, that are tracking our heart rate, that are tracking our calories burned, they are wildly inaccurate. There was a study done in Stanford in 2017 that showed that our fitness trackers, our watches, our health apps, and things like that, they overestimate our calories burned by 27 to 93%. Hello, you cannot rely on how many calories you've burned based on looking at your watch. If anything, our watches are great to kind of give us an estimate of how many steps we're getting in per day, but they are not accurate when it comes to calories burned, especially because we all burn calories at different rates. My advice is if you see that, oh, I burned 1,000 calories, which means I'm allowed to eat 1,000 extra calories per day, it doesn't work like that. Don't do that. Stick to your calorie deficit, stick to your macros for the day, no matter how many calories your watch says that you burned. And focus on strength training, because when you put muscle on, you burn more calories even at resting. You can also use things like a heart rate monitor to see your beats per minute, see how you can go based off of your effort. But honestly, truthfully, I have never tracked how many calories I've burned in a workout, because honestly, it doesn't matter. Either way, if I have my calorie deficit and I eat my calorie deficit and within my macro ranges, I have lost weight. Side note, this is just going to be straight opinionated, straight personal experience, no facts behind this, but I've personally never heard a personal trainer or a nutrition coach tell people that once you're done with your exercise, you can then replace those calories by eating them again. For example, if I burn 1,000 calories, I've never heard an actual coach or nutritionist say, now that means that you've unlocked 1,000 additional calories per day. So since you walked on the treadmill for an hour or 2 hours, now you have earned a donut and it cancels out. I've never heard that before in my life. Some people operate like that. I have seen people try to lose weight that way, but I've never actually heard that that is an effective way. I've only heard that if you are in a calorie deficit and you stay within your macro ranges, no matter what you're doing for exercise, you will lose weight. Number 8, hormonal imbalances. Cortisol, thyroid, insulin resistance, etc., etc. High stress can often lead to high cortisol, which then leads you to craving high calorie foods sometimes. Hypothyroidism slows your metabolism, and insulin resistance can make it harder to burn fat. A couple of things that you can do, obviously first and foremost, get your thyroid checked, go talk to your doctor, get your hormones ran, see how things are looking for you before proceeding. But here are a couple of things that you can do starting now if this is where you are at. Me personally, I am a PCOS girly. I have had crazy insulin resistance. I still deal with hirsutism. I have crazy high functioning anxiety, which I feel like my cortisol levels are always through the roof. I'm always stressed out, and even before I did lose the weight, I felt like a lot of the workouts that I was doing were super high intensity and therefore increasing my cortisol levels too, which does make it harder to lose fat. So let me give you some pro tips, okay? If you're a PCOS girly, do look into myo-inositol and D-Chiro. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I will also link the vitamins that I take for PCOS in the description below. The ones that I take have a little bit of ashwagandha in it, and if you don't know the benefits of ashwagandha, I will also put those on the screen here so that you can see the benefits of ashwagandha for yourself. Tip number 2, start meditating, deep breathing, lighting candles when you get in the shower, turning the lights off, going to bed early, shutting the screens off, really meditating and unwinding to get those cortisol levels down. I know it's easier said than done, but start reading books, calming down, putting headphones on, listening to slow-paced music, and really breathing. A lot of us don't do that enough in a day, and realistically, we should be doing at least 10 of those every hour. Like, really. Another thing you can do to manage those cortisol levels walk, take a walk, take in the real sunlight, touch some grass, put your feet in some grass, like actually earthing. Last tip I'm gonna give you under this little umbrella here is to try your best to avoid processed foods. I know it's, like I said, easier said than done, and that does come in time with your weight loss journey as well. If you are into super processed food, or that's just what you have in your diet over time, just really try to find whole foods that you actually enjoy. Blueberries, strawberries, meats, ground beefs. You know, one of my favorite tips that I ever heard was when you go to the grocery store, shop in the perimeter and try to avoid the aisles as much as humanly possible. It's not gonna kill you, but it does help with PCOS, because a lot of the times when you look up, oh, PCOS this, PCOS that, they will tell you go gluten-free, go dairy-free, go vegan, go, like, there's so much different information out there regarding PCOS, but truthfully, the one thing that I can say is that if you are in a calorie deficit and you're prioritizing whole foods, that's automatically anti-inflammatory diet, so that's going to help you a lot with your PCOS, and you remain in a calorie deficit and you try to put muscle on and you're in your macro ranges, you can successfully lose weight and manage your PCOS symptoms with, right in the middle, some of the PCOS vitamins that are going to help you. A bonus tip with PCOS too is a lot of us with PCOS, we have excess testosterone in our bodies, which also makes it easier to build muscle. Okay, so if you strength train, like I've been talking about, you will put on muscle even faster, which will help you burn calories when you are resting, like I mentioned. Reason number 9 why you might be plateauing. You might not be taking enough rest days. Like I mentioned, overtraining or training too hard or doing too much can increase your cortisol level, making it therefore harder for you to lose weight. What you need to be focused on is taking at least 1 to 2 rest days per week. You can do, yoga on those days, you can walk, you can take a shower, you can swim, just really low impact, relaxing rest days. Prioritize your sleep, stretch, roll out, take cold showers if you really want to recover those muscles. Reason number 10 why you might be plateauing: alcohol. I know. A study done in 2003 shows that alcohol reduces fat burning by 73% because your body prioritizes processing alcohol before anything else. My suggestion is think about taking a tea break, a tolerance break from alcohol, or just try to reduce it from however often you're currently drinking. Knock it down. Me personally, I am not a drinker. I rarely drink. I drink maybe once a year. So I have never plateaued off of alcohol, but I have a ton of mutual followers on Instagram in the fitness industry and the weight loss industry that have mentioned that they were drinking on their weight loss journey, but totally stalled out at one point. And the one thing that kicked them back into weight loss mode was cutting alcohol. Alcohol also does have a ton of calories and in some cases sugar. Again, alcohol delays fat loss because while your body is prioritizing metabolizing alcohol, your body's ability to burn fat for fuel is temporarily shut down until the alcohol is totally out of your system. Now there are layers to this alcohol thing. I really want to nail this part. And another reason why alcohol might be hurting your fitness journey or weight loss journey in general is because it stops protein synthesis, recovery, and growth. In 2014, there was a study that showed that alcohol reduced protein synthesis by at least 30%. So if you're trying to put muscle on in order to lose fat, you're also reducing how much muscle you're putting on, therefore putting your resting metabolic rate at risk, even though you're trying to lose weight. Alcohol increases drunchies, y'all. We get hungry off of that drink. And so if you're out drinking or you're with friends drinking or even alone drinking, you're probably gonna go into your pantry and find the most saltiest or sweetest thing that you can find and therefore absolutely crush it. Let me know in the comment section what you think your reasoning for plateauing is and what are you gonna do to try to break it. If you enjoyed this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I will be dropping videos every Wednesday at 9 a.m. PST. If you wanna follow me on any other socials, I am very super active on Instagram at Sierra2Fit. Make sure to give me a follow there. And if you want to check out my website, I will leave the link in the description below. I provide a lot of different resources from free beginner investing information, board games, free body measurement guide, codes for discounts for things like vitamins, collagen, protein powders, things like that. I also have tons of Amazon lists for things like press-on nails, makeup, all of the vitamins that I take, as well as some of the items that I use as a daily content creator. For example, the cheap little tripod that I'm using here. Some of the weight loss items that I use, steppers, walking pads, scales that read your body fat and muscle fat percentages and things like that. So all of that will be on my website and you can check that out. I will leave that in the description, like I said. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see you guys next Wednesday at 9 a.m. sharp. But it's been lovely, and until next time, peace out.